So, questions about any of this mess so far? Everybody ready for our week?
Mm-hmm.
Our intensive?
If someone asked me today what the class was about,
You might tell them that it's about communication. It's about
that would be
being
fine.
aware of what our communications actually are doing, what some of the unintended effects of our language patterns are. An introduction to a new and interesting field.
Okay. I was just going to say communication, but we put all that other stuff in there too.
May what?
8 through the 12.
Introduce our students to
We have the week-long intensive plan.
What?
We have the week-long intensive plan, 8th through the 12th of May.
What time? What's the time frame?
9 a.m. to 6 p.m. is the plan.
Oh my
This is
God.
why it's intensive.
Wow.
Realistically, I couldn't cram it into that 5 days if we didn't have some time here. And between now and then, if you are planning on being there, I'll give you some stuff you can look at, read some more, do a little, generate some of these patterns, so we can get a head start. Because otherwise, the 5 days is not enough.
Well, I mean,
The other option I'm doing is I'm planning on having another that runs throughout the summer.
we'll be here. I'll just miss one if I want
Yeah. I think I have several people in that situation between departmental issues and this and that and the other thing, and whatever.
How are we going? I'm probably going to try to do the one that goes throughout the summer because after being in this, and I'm going to need digestion time. Oh, so we'll work that out.
Well, and we can do both. I'm more than happy to have you at the week-long, drink from the fire hose for a week, and then spend the rest of the summer digesting and come back for the other sessions.
Instead of in the firehouse.
Yeah.
And then come back and run through the sprinkler with everyone else.
Now, the end result,
Yes.
we will be certified, what?
This is the week, or the extended over the summer, is not certifiable.
Jim, you
It'll
already
get
are. You don't
You will
even be
be.
here.
You'll be certified as a licensed practitioner of neuro-linguistic programming through the Society of NLP.
And what does that do for us?
That may or may not do anything. The piece of paper would be useful if the outhouse ran out of TP, but other than that, the skills will be useful. I think you can see that aspect.
Yeah, I can see that.
Going through the intensive,
Yeah.
I have to get you certified if you were doing all the things, because otherwise it's a royal pain for me.
What?
Well, it's difficult for me if you guys don't get certified. If you sit in and all this stuff and decide, oh no, never mind.
Well, why would
It just makes life hard for me.
So we
I'm
we
still
go
gonna
through
do
the
that.
training and take an exam?
Hmm?
We go through the training and take an exam?
Oh yes.
No.
The test. My,
So it's like you go
That's
through
a
the whole
negative
thing, but
input, I
don't.
think,
well,
right
see,
there.
that's the fun thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
The whole time you're building the skills, there's no, I mean, when I did my training, they went the whole week they spent emphasizing the test, which for us was a basically ad lib, got us up there and we did our thing, and it was a little presentation skit sort of thing, and tied in all our things, used our language patterns, did our, made sure that yes, we recognize that we can anchor, we can do this, we can do that, throw in all the pieces. So it wasn't like a written test on verbal skills. That's kind of,
That's
it
a
happens.
challenge.
Well, no, the bulk of the test aspect is generating some patterns, and you're going to have, between now and May, if you're doing it the week long, or now until whenever you're done. So you have time to generate patterns, and at this point, I'm not expecting out of practitioner training that you will be able to go out and do all of these things every day, all the time. You're not going to be at the trainer level. You're going to be, okay, I'm still exploring, I've got it, I've got the basics, just like someone coming out of a psychology class. You don't expect them to go out and do therapy. So, the expectation is that yes, you are now prepared to start, working towards that, you can go out, you can practice these things more. Obviously, 1 week is not long enough to get all of that into that unconscious competence. So.
Just, I think, as I was thinking about what you were saying about little skits, and I recognize as you're talking about these things, the places that I use them in classes with students. So there's some place in my sphere of functioning that these things sort of tend to develop themselves in response to a student's need.
Yes.
So it's not, you put me on the spot to do something in front of the group here, and it's like, but in front of a class of students where they're all whining and moaning about what they can't do, stuff comes out.
We can
And
buy
that's-
a mold for you.
That's
I
key.
can, we could do that
Really
really
well.
easily.
That's-
We're taking lessons from the students, just to help
That's
you.
the behavioral flexibility that is what we're really trying to build.
Yeah.
We're trying to get that attitude developed, the go for it, that hey, I've got all this stuff, let's go play. The behavior flexibility, hey, just because I have used, but in not so magical ways, doesn't mean that now I can use it in all sorts of spectacular ways. So the idea is to start you developing the awareness, get you introduced to it, start the behavioral aspect so that you actually can do some of these things. And yes, you're still going to have training wheels on because you haven't been biking for very long. But we can spend the rest of the summer practicing on each other. Wah. You all have captive audiences one way or another. I think you might be the one that has the least captive audience, although we have a new president coming in. Who has not been exposed to any of this. Or at least not here. So, we all have captive audiences at one time or another. You wouldn't believe the things I do to my students. Maybe you would.
Oh, yeah. I've heard, Wayne.
So, we have all these things. My goal for our practitioner training is attitude, getting some skills under there, getting you a direction that says, hey, just because I'm not getting the result I want doesn't mean I'm broken. It means that I need to try something different. So, opening up that flexibility, getting you guys the basic skill set so that you can continue doing what you're doing. And doing all of these new fun patterns in fun and interesting ways. Because everyone uses all of these patterns all of the time. And you'll never hear them until you tune your ears. And as you start hearing them, you can actually respond to what's being said. You can respond to what's not being said, but being implied. This is why I've got really good filter as far as ambiguities. I hear a lot more whenever people say things. I hear all the ambiguities, which is why I'm the one in the corner going, because I hear 12 different things and half of them are rude. And so, this is the downside of tuning that in. You can always put the filter back in, but I like hearing it. So, hurt my feelings. So, lots of things going on here. Any other questions?
What's the dates again?